Hey guys, welcome to episode 11 of In My Beauty Bag, the beauty of business with balance. I'm your host, Yamina Childress, entrepreneur, mom, and business coach for other entrepreneurs and creatives. This episode is part 2 to episode 10, the founder glow up. And this time we're going to not focus just on the mindset shift and your branding, but instead how automations can help you elevate not only your business, but how that impacts your founder glow up. Just an update from last week to kind of help my own founder glow up as I am starting to grow an international business is that I brought on a new teammate. So I'm so happy to have support from her. Her name is Karen. And so I'm glad to have her on the team. And so that was just one of the things I had to do to really think about, my own glow up story and, delegating some of these tasks. Um, and so if you missed part 1, make sure you go back and check it out because, again, we're talking about the mindset shift you need, the branding reinvention you may need, and things like that. And then we're going to dive deeper into what it takes to scale up without burning out. So if you listen to the last podcast and you follow me in other places, I recently relocated and I'm also now running a global business. And so I am in the midst of my own founder glow up journey at this stage. And I talked about it in last episode that we have these glow up journeys from time to time. It's not just about just starting your business. It's about different phases in your business, whether you're growing, whether you're kind of pivoting maybe. If you're just making changes, I think it always takes a different version of ourselves as founders and entrepreneurs and CEOs in order to make sure that we're taking our business to the next level, right? And so we're going to really deep dive into how I'm using automation and delegation to be more productive and to maintain my mental well-being, something that I truly prioritize. But before we jump in, I want to give you what's in my beauty bag, a self-care tip. So lately, I think my skin has been adjusting to like the new environment. Could be a little, internal stresses just from, making big changes. And so one of the things I have been doing in order to keep my skin super hydrated is that I've been using the slip-on silk mask by Yanni Beauty. This mask you can put on, you let it sit, it's really creamy, it smells great. Let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and it's going to give you that super hydration boost. I like to do that at night once or twice a week. So give it a try and let me know what you think if you are having some dry or chaotic skin, or even if you just want a moment of self-care. So now let's just go into the meat of this episode. And the first thing we're going to talk about is why you need automation to scale. So the mindset shifts founders often realize when they're having this, this shift, this mindset shift, is that they wear too many hats. Wearing all of these hats, doing all of the things leads to burnout. It leads to missed opportunities. Why? Because we cannot be everywhere all the time. It's only one of us. And so we may miss opportunities. And then we truly lack a work-life balance. And I've heard that, other business owners, successful ones, will say there's no such thing as a work-life balance. And I would challenge that. I think the work-life balance is very much so intentional, and that you have to be intentional with how that works for you. So we've heard the quote, working harder isn't the flex, working smarter is, right? So remember that working harder and saying that you do all the things and you make all the decisions and you're the marketing guru, you're the strategist, you're the finance guy, you're the operations manager, you're the content creator, all of these things is not the flex guys that a lot of people think it is. We are in the stage in this mindset glow up is that we are working smarter. So if you are here and you're thinking like, hey, you know what, some of these things are me, some of these things are things that I do, like wearing all the hats, like always feeling burnt out. I want you to realize that this is your sign that you may need to automate some of your tasks. You need to automate and you need to delegate. But let's say that you don't have the capacity to bring on other team members at this time. Automation will be your best friend. Some of the benefits of automation is that you don't have to constantly repeat the same task over and over and over again. Like, if somebody asks you a question, you have that same question from 30 different customers, it's time to already have an automation there that answers that question for you. If you are drowning in admin work, instead of focusing on growth, you need automation. As the leader of our businesses, our jobs are not to do all the little things. Our jobs are to do the things that make us money and grow the business. And so you want to stop all of those fine detail things and let automation handle those things for you. And then if your customer experience is inconsistent, automation can help you there, right? It can help answer some of those customer questions. It can provide some support to customers that will be the same across the board. It will give them the response immediately if you set it up correctly, instead of you having to go in, answer all the calls, read all the emails, and give all of the responses, right? So jumping into this next segment, we're going to move from that. Well, bring that into this is automation is not just important for you. It's important because it creates more time for you and it creates more money for your business, right? And that's the goal. And so I want to give you some automation tools that you can use in order to, save yourself time and make more money while you're asleep, right? And so this is the time, get your notebook, get your whatever you need to take notes, and let's talk about it. First things first, email sequences. I talk about this regularly. We should all be using some form of email sequence that works while you're asleep, right? And so that can be onboarding new leads or customers. So for instance, let's say a customer gets on your website and they are maybe, interested in a product or service, but they don't really know. They sign up for, to be on your newsletter list. You should have an email sequence that automatically goes out when that person subscribes, or a thank you email if a client gets to your website and they sign up for a service, right? Or they buy a product. You want to make sure you have that onboarding emails available. And the good thing is a lot of our hosts, like if you use a e-commerce platform, they'll have some automations built in. If you use other different learning management tools, they may have some automations built in, but make sure you're using those and utilizing them. And even if you have to get something separate like Postmark or MailChimp, that you're able to set up some automations. They can also help you with following up with customer inquiries, or maybe even sending out abandoned cart emails. Maybe somebody got on your website and they looked at a product but they did not purchase the first time. It can send them an abandoned cart email, which is always great because I know as a customer you've probably had that. You put all the things in your cart and then you decided I don't want it right now, or you got distracted and then they sent you that follow-up abandoned cart email and now you're ready to make a purchase. So for an example of how I use automation is I use contractor AI for legal workflows. And so this helps me create automated agreements, NDAs, contracts, and things like that without having to actually do the work. And then I can also send clients information and tools automatically when they sign up. Another good tool is to schedule your social media content. I still struggle with this, to be fully transparent. Batching content, which means creating content in advance and then having your automation schedule it. And so while I don't have the problem with creating the automation, I have more of the problem with creating the content, but that's a whole other story. So try to plan out your content, preferably a few weeks, a month in advance. Take a few hours out of a day out the month and maybe do a content day. And then you want to schedule that content out using some automation tools like Hootsuite, Canva has some built in, different platforms. And then you can even use some automations to repurpose your content across multiple platforms. So, you have those built-in tools where if you post to TikTok, it can automatically post it to Facebook. Or if you post to, for me, when I post my, this podcast, I use Spotify and it automatically posts it to my YouTube podcast. So some of those ways that you can repurpose that content using automations. And the next thing is client and lead management systems. So your CRMs, these help you track customer interactions and then set some auto responses, right? It can provide personalization, and so you can send if a client does this, and then your automation tools may do this, and so that you can personalize that client's journey. CRMs make sure that really none of your leads or your clients ever fall through the cracks, because you don't have to go manually through your back ends to see who put their email addresses in, who asked the question, where was the lead source, like where did they hear about you from, right? You can build this into your CRM and let your CRM put the people where they belong, and then trigger some different maybe contact tools, maybe emails that go out to those potential leads. For financial automation, so that you can get paid on time, we all want that, is that you can auto invoicing and payment reminders. So I use a couple of different financial automations, but for instance, one of them I use is Square. And so I have it set, if I send an invoice out, I can put the due date in, and then I can just tell the system to send out reminder emails, 1 day after it's due, 3 days after it's due, a week after it's due, right? So that I'm not constantly chasing a client or chasing a payment. If you have maybe a product or service, you can use subscription or membership models where a client makes a purchase, and instead of going back and asking them, are you ready to make this purchase again, they can sign up for a subscription or membership, and then it automates the process, right? It's going to automatically send them either an invoice, or it's going to automatically just charge their credit card. Those are some automations that's really built into a lot of the tools we already use. So just making sure that you're utilizing them. And then you can think about some things like booking software that eliminates your manual data. So if you are, the person responsible for your bookkeeping, you can get things like Xero, where it connects to, your bank account, or it connects to your POS systems, different payment systems, so that it's pulling all those transactions into the system and helping you create reports automatically without you having to manually do things step by step by step. And then for AI powered legal and compliance tools, you can use this to automate things like drafting contracts, whether it's an NDA for your content or it's an employee agreement for your next hire. You can use automated tools. You can use these tools in order to input some content from, just say, a contract that you have somebody present it to you, and maybe you don't know all the legal jargon, and so you want to put that content into a system to see, what this means, how do I respond to it, and of course, you can use like contractor AI in order to draft these contracts for you, in order to read your contracts and really give you the legal needs that you have without you having to manually type out a full contract agreement, right? Because not only does that take a lot of time, it also takes a form of expertise that not everyone has, especially if they're non-lawyers. Part 3 of the Founder Glow Up is all about productivity. I want to give you some productivity hacks that can help you be more productive in your day. And that doesn't mean doing more work, because a lot of people think busy works make them more productive, but the truth of the matter is busy work is just busy work. So if that work is not getting you to the next level in your business, it's not making you more money, it's not saving you, time, freeing up your time and your energy, then it's just busy work. And so we want you to be more productive, but not more busy. So some things you can do is utilize time blocking and CEO days. So for me, I set out an entire day for just big picture thinking. So I am a big picture person. I can think of, grand ideas, in the matter of moments. And sometimes I like to have a day where I'm just thinking about the big ideas for my business, where I want to go, if there's a new product or service I want to add, and just really thinking about those instead of working on these small tedious tasks every day, because it really helps me get a picture of, am I heading in the right direction? And so you can do those time blocking and CEO days. You've probably heard this. I've heard it all the time, using the 80-20 rule, where you focus on what moves the needle, right? And so 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. And so you do the things, the 20% that you need to do as the human, your personal touch, the things that make your business grow. And then the other 80%, you can go ahead and automate all of those repetitive tasks. Be sure to use AI and automation, bots for things like customer support. If you have not adopted AI, I want you to go ahead and really think about adopting some form of AI, because you can use chatbots to do things like answer frequently asked questions without trying to hire a full team, customer service team, right? And so, you can get a customer that goes online and asks a question, and your AI chatbot can give them answers. And then it can help you maintain like a personal touch without scaling, right? And so think about the frequently asked questions, those FAQs. In most situations, and they were written down like on a website. You go to this link and you can read all of the FAQs. But that AI chatbot really gives them just another sense of personal touch, where you can tell that AI chat what to say and how to present it, give them your tone and your brand voice, and then the customer can really start to have, somewhat of a conversation versus just reading. Some of the ways I'm using these strategies personally as a global entrepreneur is, running a business across different time zones. I have to definitely automate things to show up when a customer needs them. I have automations built in my website where it translates languages. And then I use things that help me stay productive without that 24/7 hustle mode. And again, most of that is using, AI tools, using automation tools like in my email autoresponders. If you've ever emailed Yanni Beauty, for instance, our customer service email will automatically send out a response that gives, answers some of those frequently asked questions. Before we jump off, I want to talk about how you can implement these strategies today. And just like in every episode, I want to give you something that you want to work on this week, and then you add on the other things as you go forward. So start small. Pick one area of your business to automate this week, whether that's your legal, your operations, your customer service, your finances. Be sure to focus on one of those spaces, and then you start to automate that one, and then you move on to the next. I want you to leverage AI and some of the no-code tools to help you scale efficiently. Don't be scared of AI. It is not here to replace you. AI can really help you be more productive and really help you take control of your business and really create the boundaries between you as a person and you as a business owner, right? So really leverage the technologies that we have. Be sure to set up workflows, maybe from in a dashboard that you can monitor your automations, and that you can optimize those automations to see what's working for you and what's not, because you don't need all the things. You just need the things that work well for your particular business. So if you're ready to level up your operations, I want you to start this by automating just one process this week. Remember, just do one thing. You don't have to do all the things, because remember, this is the founder glow up. We're not trying to wear all the hats. We are trying to work smarter, not harder. And if you need any hands-on help structuring your business for growth, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to check out my very high touch coaching program. This is for that business owner that is ready to scale, but ready to use automation, delegation in order to really build a growth strategy, and to take that growth strategy in order to grow your business this year. It's called the Balanced Founders Method, and you can visit it at integralstart.com. But that is application only, because I want to work with those entrepreneurs that are ready to move the needle forward in their business without burning out. So just to give a quick recap, we covered key automations that'll help you scale and be more productive. And we want to make sure that you are using automations effectively, but not thinking that they are here to replace you. It's about just giving you the time you need to focus on your personal growth and your professional growth, ultimately growing your business. So if this episode helped you in any way, I want you to share with a fellow founder who's ready to level up. Of course, subscribe if you are listening to this on YouTube. Any of the other channels, be sure to subscribe so that you can get notification when the next episode drops. You can feel free to DM me, comment. I want to keep the conversation going. I love to hear from you. If we're connected on LinkedIn, let's talk about it. And so until next time, I want you to keep growing, glowing, and building your empire with ease. I would love to hear more about your founder glow up. So I will see you in the next session.